Hello. Hi everyone. Too much light, but it's okay. I'm Wycliffe. Cassidy. Mr. Cassidy, thank you so much for this opportunity. It is very sad that we have some short time, but I'm going to be as brief as I can. I've been walking in and I saw students and I was very excited. How I wish I had this opportunity 13 years ago. How I wish I could come and gather on this very nice event, because whatever I learned on the job. Whatever I learned, whatever you're going to, I wish I had time to share my portfolio, but there's some work I've dropped in that will give you who I am. Yes, let me start with my CV. It's outside that small words. I've been in design for 13 years. I started design in 2008. It was a hard process, very hard process. No heavy computers, no slow internet. If you were there in 2008, the internet was slow. To get to learn, you could go to school, and then they give you some short information. They don't give it all. Schools it's just a way of enlightening you and telling you, it's basically teaching you principles of how you can do things, but it doesn't show you how things are done. So yeah, I've been in design for 13 years. I know I started from print. Now I'm shifting my career, and I will tell you why I'm shifting my career. Because design, it is such an amazing thing. So my CV has stated, design, I've worked with UTB, Uganda Tourism Board. I work with UOE Design. Mr. Cassidy, he was my partner on that project, because I gave him a contract to develop that business. I work with Play Matter Rescue. I work with Smart Logo. Smart Logo is from the UK. Most of my clients are not in Uganda because it is a journey. It is a long story. So let's go to the next. Okay. Now, I created companies on the 13 years I've been in business. Yes, you live at that side. 13 years of business. When I was employed, you can leave it there. When I was employed, I started with my own company. So Design Kings is my own company. You can go to Instagram and check Design King _256. So Design Kings was my first company. So we are creating a system called UOE Design. I'm tired of phone calls. I'm tired of people calling me, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. So we are developing a system, but the company is based in Kenya. So I registered everything in Kenya, because Kenya is more tech than Uganda, but we are going there. But the owner, I have a partner, but I'm the proprietor of the company. So I have a radio station called Colo Radio. So radio station is an online. So it's basically working in restaurants, like you see Java's. It's not yet here, but it's in America. So I created another brand called Brilla. Brilla is a cosmetics company. Yeah, it is in operation. So I created another company called Mede. So it's food. So you see, I'm trying to juggle here and there to make ends meet. So yeah. So with all that comes from design. Let nobody tell you design is nothing. Because when I started 2013 my career, they told me, who will pay you 3 million for a logo? They asked me that, who will pay you 3 million for a logo? Who will? Can you imagine? Someone comes and pays you 3 million for nothing. So as as we go on, I'll tell you how much I charge for the logo. Now, a tutor-leg is a guidance. I'm here to not explain why so many details, but I'm here to give you guidance. That's all. So guidance is about how design is important. Design is very important. How design can diversify your life. Let's go. So now, the content inside my presentation: principles of design, diagnostics of design, creative treatment, and then graphic design. So guys, everything in the world is started by design. Be you a programmer, you design something, you design a system. Is that right? You design a system, you create a system, you follow principles, right? Start from the programming languages to what's, So basically in our field, the former speaker has been telling about storytelling, but that is also an amazing thing. But for our field, we start with the principles. Now, principles are very simple: balance, contrast, hierarchy, harmony, unity, emphasis, focal point, and repetition and pattern. I'm going to show you why design has principles. The reason why you have principles in design, it is like a language. Design is a language. If you don't understand the language, you will have work that doesn't make sense, right? So let's go. And before we go more, when you learn design, you have to notice that I'm not using the principles to stop. The moment you notice you're not using principles of design, then you continue doing design, it won't make sense. Design is as simple as you can think of it. Because nobody will teach you design. Nobody. Everyone will give you a direction. Everyone will tell you a tool. But design is just basically you. You as a person. How do you tell the story? Right? How do you approach things? So let's go to the next thing. The diagnostics of design. Why do we design? You ask yourself, why do we design? The reason for design is to ease things. Even the phones you're holding, they were designed. Anything you're holding was designed. Anything you think of was designed. That's why design is very important. It is ease. It eases the system. So it makes life better and very simple. Some of you came driving. That is also design. But was the person a designer like me? No. It was a creative. So those are the difference. There's a creative, there's a programmer, there's an inventor. So those are all designers. There's a C Trillion. Trillion is also, she's a designer, right? But she's in fashion, right? So when she came here, I'm gonna use her as an example because it's very powerful. When I came here, it opened my eyes, right? And I'm gonna tell you why it is very important. Yeah. So design is to solve problems. If you're not solving a problem, you're not designing. Don't even lie to yourself. Even if you're programming, if you're not solving a problem, you're not designing. You're just going through, just making money. So making money, you're just not solving a problem. Those are two totally different things. And making money won't take for long, but solving a problem will take ages, will take you to places. We solve problems, we don't design. I hope we get that. So design is as simple as solving a problem. Once you can't solve a problem, you're not designing. So yeah. Now, time is money. Let's go through the diagnostics of design. How do we start with design? What do we start with design? Whether I'm not talking to designers, to creatives only, creative designer, graphic designers. I'm talking to everybody. The students. Even when you use this in your approach, even if it's in school, even if it's in programming, even if it's in anywhere in business. So what? Now, you spend most time when you're planning. 90% of your time, spend it planning. When I mean planning, start with research. Let me give you an example. You're a programmer. Someone has approached you. I need an application. So how do you approach them? What do you start with? You're confused. You're confused and now this person wants this. What can I start with? Start with research. What does he want? A website. Okay, what comes with the website? It entails ABCD. Know the client, what he wants, right? What he wants. Because when you know and you do research, I want a website. So what's the website doing? What is the main thing for this thing? What is the reason? Why am I doing this? That's why I told you, why am I designing? That's why it begins from number one. Your research, you know the market, right? You understand the market before you get into, so I'm designing this website for a lot of people. Will they understand what I'm designing? Will they know what I'm designing? Two, get inspirations. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is nothing you will know on this planet that is new. There is nothing. It has been done somewhere. Do you believe me? Everything you're thinking about is been done somewhere. I was walking in, I was going to do mobile screens. When I walked in, I saw a mobile screen. I was like, hey, this girl was fast. You get? So, anything, there's nothing new under the sun. It might be in someone's shelf, for you it's a new product, right? So you do research, mood board, start picking ideas, start doing, because design for me I believe it's a combination of junk, which I'll show you. It's a combination of junk. You add so many things to get things in line, okay? The process, let's explain the process. How do you start design? You know, design is simple. When you're thinking of design, you get a process. You start with the process. That's why I told you design is simple. When you think about it, you start with the process. So what is the process? It's all in my sector. It begins with a strategy. Before you go to anything, you start with a strategy, right? So the strategy is simple. Let not confuse you. Even when you're doing exams, students, when you want to win exams, you start with a strategy. Sit down. No, okay, they're asking me about computing. What do they want? That's a strategy. With the strategy, it helps you to get a direction. Even if you're doing a website, even if you're programming a language, even if you're starting with anything, you start with what is the strategy of me tackling this? Let's go. When you go to the strategy, next page. When you go to the strategy, so you start with branding. Without a strategy, it's a jerry can. Let me use the MTN's new thing, jerry can. It's a jerry can. Without a strategy, if you have a brand and you don't have a strategy, you're just moving your own things. So we start with the brand hat. Let's talk about the brand hat. What do you mean by the brand hat? The brand hat, we're talking about the purpose, the mission, the vision. Why are you in existence, right? Why is the client in existence? When you're tackling him, you know the client first. That's what I told you in my presentation, time is money. You know the client first, okay? You're not designing for designers. You're not designing to have the best design out there. No, you're designing for the people, right? That's why cars are not designed for the next inventors. They're designed for us, right? Because we are the end users, right? How are they going to be efficient and how are they going to be easy to us? So that's why I told you design is to ease the process. So you have to understand why the client is in business. Whenever a client approaches you, what are the mission? What is your mission? So the mission or the purpose has to be philanthropic. When I mean mission to be the purpose to be philanthropic, you have to be solving a problem. So for you to get the platform, you have to be solving and getting to know what the client is solving. That's why so many businesses start without a strategy, and they close because they're not solving anything. You just open up a boutique, and then you just, because you're not so in that boutique, what are you bringing? What is that new thing you're bringing on the market? That's why it's solving the problem. Next slide. So I'm trying to, I was given little time, but let me try to be as simple as I can. Now, the usual routine. So many people copy other people, what they do. I've never got the system of why people do Christmas poster. So everybody does Christmas posters, right? Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry. What is the rationale? What's the story behind? Why were they doing that? For avoid the routine. Avoid the routine. I was using recently ChatGPT. Oh my goodness, that's the most powerful tool this world has ever had. And so many people were calling it a threat. Here I'm calling it a tool. So everybody who's using it, calling it a threat, go behind that routine. Say, okay, why is everybody doing this? Can't I find use of the value and the importance of this tool? So don't avoid the routine. If you're in a place of someone, everybody say that thing is bad. Why? Always have the why in you. Don't just go with the flow, right? Because my neighbor is doing Christmas posters, birthday posters, let me do that. Why is he doing that? Okay? Now, 80-20 rule. Design has one rule, and this is the rule. Branding, sorry. This is the rule. So the 80-20 rule, 20% is design, 80% is strategy. Whether you like it or not, 20% is the visuals. You see visuals. I'm being visual, I'm doing a visual, then I'm doing a poster, I'm doing a brand, I'm doing this. So if you can plan and know the client and know your market, know your audience. Let me give you an example. My first struggle was entering America, having American clients. Now, when I entered America, it was like a joke. I started with a DJ. So I was doing work for free. I'm a local Ugandan boy, seated down in his apartment. I've left work, I'm unemployed, no clients, nothing. So I was like, okay, now what is my strategy? People don't know me, so I'm going to work for free. I worked for free for 4 years. 4 years, 2013 and 2017. It was paid for free. This DJ gives me just one thing, puts my logo on his flyers, and everybody was asking my name. That was a strategy, right? Now, ever since that day, since 2017, I've never looked back. Every client I have came from that. You get? So that's the strategy, right? So let's go to composition. So you strategize, you get money. When you don't strategize, you don't get money. Some of you always think about money. Money is not the problem. You're the problem. Forget about the money. Money will come. Forget about what you're focusing on, that money. I want to sometimes you put your head in it. Let's go. Time is killing me, but it's okay. Let's go. So she was speaking about telling a story. Why telling a story is very important. I tell a story in my design. That's what I told you. I don't do things just for. I have a reason for everything. I have a reason why if I'm doing a UX, UI, I have a reason why I have a button, right? I don't just, let's put a button. So this is a farm. It's in Chicago. So I went to Chicago. So you start with the strategy. They will show you. No, okay. So when I was looking in Chicago, so these guys are a little bit dry. So they create the irrigation system. They create a huge plantations. Now, so we start with the plantations, right? So what's in Chicago? It's the sun, right? You get sun describes nature. What else? The trees as well, nature. So this is the sun plus the plantations. You get it? So that's telling a story. The story comes from, because when they ask you, why did you use that logo? And why did you use that color? You don't even know why. That's why when I'm working with people here in Uganda and I send you my presentation, you come back to me telling, change this to blue. I'll ask you for a paragraph of why I'm changing it to blue. I won't change it. I'll tell you no. Designers, you're professionals. You're like doctors. Creatives, you're like doctors. Let nobody tell you you're not professionals. You're very professional. Take yourself like engineers. Can you give me an app and I do it? I can't. I'm just a designer, right? That's the same as an engineer. You can't tell an engineer to help you with the building. He creates. So let's push forward. So you tell a story. Now you get where I'm saying, where I'm going. So I was approached by UTB in 2019. I was approached by UTB. By the UTB, to know me, it was a free project, right? I did a project for free. So when I did it with someone, they saw it, so this guy makes sense. So UTB already had the logo. So I had to go back down, do research, get to know everything, go into the deep. Why UTB? The guy did, I wasn't the designer of the logo, but I understood the design, right? That's why when you come closer, he used these lines for blue, like for the lake, the rivers, was just describing the nature of Kampala, the environment. So he used the sun for nature, right? So basically, you design telling a story. Without a story, you don't have anything. That's why I was very amazed by what she was saying. Without a story, you're not telling anything. You don't have a story. So because when you approach me in business without a story, you're not telling me anything. Don't come to me and talk to me about business when you've never owned a restaurant or anything, or even like a bike or anything. So it's easy. So creative treatment. Yes, sorry, time is killing me, but it's okay. Now, how many of you have seen the new rebrand of Oryx? So you see, Oryx rebranded, and that was part of the process, right? Starts with shapes. Design is simple. Like I told you, don't put so much pressure on design. Understand the client, right? Understand and know who is the client. So when we're doing Oryx, we created just the lines, and the lines mean something. So the story we're telling is just we're going forward, every smoothness, efficiency, fast. Those are what the lines mean, speed, right? So you're telling a story, right? So the story is being told in the visuals, right? So without a story, you're not telling me anything. Then I'll ask you, what's the bigger picture? What's your story? What's the story behind this? So yes, we did read all in Oryx. So whenever you see lines, even if you don't see the logo, you will know it's Oryx, right? When you see the apple, and then you don't see the anything mark, you say that is a mark, right? But everything can be an apple, right? So you tell a story, and the story gets in people's brain. Let's go to the next slide. So after telling a story, having the world designed very well, you're in line with things, and everything is perfect. You know the story, you know the strategy, then the design, then we go to creative treatment. Yes. So even here, one second, I designed this. In my new app, so I created African patterns in the app, right? Whenever someone goes there, will feel the patterns and stuff. You get it. I am not a programmer, right? But when I send this to any programmer, it's easy for you to tell, right? You just linking, right? So I send you a prototype, everything done, then it's easy for you to link. Because design begins with the designer. Do you know that? Even you before going to the website. So me, I just sat down, got to know people in diaspora, don't listen to our radio, right? So how have I got the radio to the people? So I'm solving a problem, right? So after you've designed and after done everything, you have to know designing is luring. You're faking. Did you know that? You're just getting people into your box, right? So that's when we need the presentation. After I've designed everything, I create the way I entice you to like whatever I've liked, right? Don't share anything in life when you've not smeared so much Vaseline on it. You're doing a mistake. Even if it's bad, when you put Vaseline, people will love whatever they're seeing. So I've done that app before as well. It has been on one of my presentations as well. Yes, let's go up. The app, when I was presenting to a client, the client didn't know what he's seeing. But when he saw the phone, he was very amazed. He was like, oh, it will look like this on the phone. That's the main thing, right? So when I bring a presentation, I don't just send you PDFs. I lure you to I give you a reason. I tell you the story. If you cannot tell a story when you live here, you're wasting time, right? You're wasting time. If you cannot tell a story, you're wasting time. Let's go to the next slide. So this is called Jambo Buy. Jambo Buy is in Nairobi as well. So they're bringing like Nike to the people. So when I was doing the website as well, it had elements, right? So the client was not under until I did the presentation, right? Until I told him, listen, this is how I'm going to look on your app, on your tab. It's like, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. So sometimes you can design something beautiful, and then the way you present it kills it all. Right? Strategy, tell the story, compose it, present. Does that make sense? But you don't begin with presentation before creating a strategy, before starting with design, before knowing what the client wants. So now, so many people are trying to, yes, go. So many people are trying to think, what is it? So graphic design is one of the biggest businesses in the world, if you didn't know. So me, I'm a graphic designer, right? I'm not a strategist, I'm just a graphic designer. Strategy, I'm just learning. I just learned through the job. So whenever I used to do design, someone tells you, my audience are old people, then you use young people, they get lost and say, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Yes, so with design, with graphic design as a business, has three principles, right? Three principles. Yes, let's go to the last slide, boss. Three principles. You learn before you do anything. 99% of my time I'm learning. I'm not yet there. Everyone tells me, hey, you're doing good work. No, I'm still learning. Because there are new softwares every single day. There are new things every single day. Learn. You lock yourself in the house. Learn. Because the competition out there is stiff. Now you see, Google is struggling with ChatGPT. You know why? They thought faster than them. They're struggling. So don't be comfortable. You're not the best, you're the worst. You know not. You don't know anything. If you hear and you think you know everything, you don't know. Trust me, a young boy from MIA will surprise you. Can program and just system in 1 minute it is done. I'm like, what? Yes. So you don't present yourself like you know. If you want to learn, call people, get to know people. If someone is better than you, go to them, learn from them. Hey, you did this site, you did it well. How did you come with it? You get it. So branding is as simple as not a trademark logo, not a color. Branding is a gut someone has over your brand, a feeling. Branding is not, hey, they are branded, they have a logo. No. If I go to Trillion for inquiries, how will she treat me? Right? Will she really give me all the details? That's how branding is. Will she really treat me well? Will she follow up on me? Will she call me and tell me, how did it fit? That's branding. How do you treat clients? That's branding. Your product itself. However much you pay the best designer in the world and you have a bad product, you want to make money. You want to make money. Simple. Graphic design is learning. You don't get comfortable. You, the students who came here today, graphic design is one of the, if you come to me, approach me, you want a logo, I'll charge you between 5 to 25 million. Yes. So I can design 3 logos a month. That's how much? To 15 million. It's good career, right? So we are ambassadors of change. We are ambassadors of change. I'm closing with this. We are ambassadors of change. When you get a client, try to teach them. A client is not your enemy. Teach them. Teach them. Tell them, hey, listen, this is the process. This is how Nike branded. This is how. Teach them. Talk to them. Try to understand with them. Tell them, he'll tell you, this is what I want. Tell them, yes, it's what you want, but this is the direction. This is where the country is going. You give live examples. I'm very honored to speak on this event. Thank you so much. Everyone who came, thank you so much. Everyone who really put in so much effort, thank you so much. It has been an amazing journey, and trust me, you will never go wrong. Design, you will never go wrong. You will never sleep hungry. That's what my mentor used to tell me. When you understand design, you can never sleep without food. You can never. And when someone will call you, I need this, I need this. So yeah, if I close, any questions?
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you so much for coming.
I wanted to ask, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Could you share with us who your mentors are in the field?
You can be the best. You're the best actually. Why do you need someone to give you direction? My direction is not your direction. You get what I'm saying? You might be there, then you have the best even approach of things. Me, I just juggled. I'm telling you, I've suffered with design. If I tell you. So, mentorship is good, but it starts with you. Push yourself, people will look for you. Trust me. Do be extraordinary, people will come to be part of you. Thank you. Any other question before I go? Okay, make another one.
Yes, I just wanted to know what softwares you would recommend for someone who is starting.
That's so amazing. That's so amazing. So now, a software is just a tool. Just a tool. Don't rely on softwares. I'm changing my career. I'm becoming a 3D journalist. I'm leaving design this year. I'm no longer going to design logos, posters, whatever, corporate identities. I'm done. So you see, I'm changing tools. Tools, that's why I didn't mention about them. Tools are tools. Whatever can give you the work. Right? I will tell you, Adobe is a lie. Someone can give me something with Colero Draw better than mine. So, you have to learn the tool that you feel comfortable with. Right? Go do research. No, people who have used the tools, you just keep on Googling. Me, myself, I've been using Adobe since PageMaker, right? Since PageMaker. And then I started with PageMaker, then went to InDesign, then I started with Photoshop 6, then I went to CS3, you see, there's been an upgrade. So I pay for my softwares. That's why it's in business, I told you, invest. Invest in your business. I pay for my softwares. I pay for my licenses. Right? So it's that easy. So tools, I'll divert your brain. So this man told me to use Photoshop. Right? What do you want to do to use the tool for? Right? What are you? Just get to know who you are. Then you pick the tool.